Welcome back once again to the Mike and Mike Show, sponsored by WagerPro.com, the #1 sports betting app in the industry, bar none. Week 9, Mike, college football, cashing tickets on a weekly basis, guys. All of you have taken advantage of the free information we've been giving out weekly at 800-918-3272, knows just how positive a weekend this is going to be. For all of you who have not contacted us yet, be sure and do so. Our insider lock of the week, Michigan, Notre Dame, number 8 goes into number 19, Michigan in Ann Arbor. Big time information on the game. We're releasing it absolutely free at 800-918-3272. Make the call, cash your ticket. We're going to get into a couple of big time matchups for the weekend. I mean, we're going to give some thoughts on the playoff picture. We're getting close to that time now where, in Mike and I's opinion, there's maybe 6 or 7 teams that truly have a shot at that 14 playoff. We'll get into that a little bit during the show as well. First game we're going to touch on today is at 3:30 Eastern Time. Number 2, LSU is home to number 9, Auburn. This is a monster game. LSU, number 2 in the country right now, playing fantastic football. Auburn's defense is ranked 16th in the country going into this game, only giving up 17 points a game. LSU's ranked number 2 in the country in scoring at 50 points a game. I mean, Joe Burrow is definitely, without question, the front runner for the Heisman. The guy is doing amazing things. I mean, the way I look at this game, last year they played in September. It was a 1-point game. LSU winning the game 22-21. This is a really tough spot for true freshman quarterback Bo Nix for Auburn. Yeah. He's been playing well. He's looked real well at times, but he's made some big-time mistakes. This is a really tough spot for him going on the road to this type of a team, this type of an environment. I can't see Auburn doing enough to win this game, but I do think they will keep it close, Mike. So I'm going to go with Auburn plus the 11 in a real tight game, but LSU pulling away late in the fourth quarter and winning the game, staying undefeated, hanging on to that number 2 spot. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game, and, it's probably the biggest game in the SEC so far this year. And, don't forget, LSU will be playing Alabama next week.
Yep.
So, again, right now, this is probably the biggest game.
No time to look ahead, though.
Yeah, absolutely not. And, that's at 3:30 Eastern Time today. That's rotation number 203-204. And, guys, listen, that's going to be a big game. But the biggest piece of information that we have for you tonight is our college football insider move. It's number 8 Notre Dame headed to number 19 Michigan. Line right now has Notre Dame favored by 1, the over-under at 51. And, for everybody that's been watching these insider moves, when we agree on them, guys, cash your ticket here. We did it last Monday night with the Patriots. It was an absolute blowout winner. We had a huge weekend in college and pro football, and we agree that this game tonight is mistaken by at least 10 points. So you're going to call 1-800-918-3272. You're going to get this winner tonight between Notre Dame and Michigan absolutely free. Just give us a call. 1-800-918-3272. Now, Auburn, number 9, 6-1, outside shot at the playoff. They'd have to probably run the table here. LSU, in my opinion, is the best team in the country. I know right now they're ranked number 2, but I think they are the best team in the country. I think they're the most talented on both sides of the ball. And, Auburn doesn't play very well on the road against winning teams. Their last 10 games on the road against winning teams, they're 3-7 against the spread. They're actually 1-4 in their last 5 road games versus LSU, and they call it Death Valley for a reason. And, LSU in their last 17 games versus SEC opponents, they're 13-4 against the spread. And I understand your logic. I understand that Auburn has a great defense, but they have not played a team like LSU this year. For that reason, I'm going to take LSU minus the 11. I actually think that it will be a close game, but I think in the second half, the talent prevails, and I see LSU winning this game by 14 to 17 points.
It's going to be a tremendous game. Everybody will be tuning in, but guys, do not do anything on your Saturday until you call 800-918-3272. Take advantage of this insider lock of the week. Michigan, Notre Dame, the information is absolute stealing money. We're releasing it absolutely free to anyone that calls 800-918-3272. Another game we're going to get into for today goes a little bit later on, 10:30 Eastern Time. Washington State's on the road to Oregon. Oregon is 14. Total in this game is 65. I mean, Oregon's having a tremendous season so far. They're 6-1. Their only loss coming to Auburn in a real close game. I like what this team is doing on defense. That's the strong part of this team. Usually it's the offense that stands out, but their defense is only allowing 11 points a game. I don't see much from Washington State on the road in a game like this. I mean, this is actually a pretty easy one for me, Mike. I don't see them being even competitive in this game. This is a blowout to me. I mean, Oregon minus 14. I think this is an absolute blowout. I don't think Washington State will put up points in the game. I just don't see much from them at all. And I don't think Oregon is getting as much credit as they deserve. They're a real team, 6-1 on the season, only lost to Auburn by less than a touchdown. This is a real team, 6-1. This is a blowout in my opinion. I'm going to go Oregon minus the 14 in this one.
Okay, and that's at 10:30 Eastern Time tonight, and that's game number 153, 154 on your rotation. It's a big Pac-12 game, and before I get into my analysis, again, tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, prime time here, guys. Notre Dame heads to Michigan. We believe there is a 10-point mistake in the line of this game, and again, the line right now has Notre Dame favored by 1 and the over-under at 51. We don't think this game's going to be close. So give us a call. It's absolutely free. It's an insider move. You could cash your ticket, and you could get yourself ahead for what's going to be a big NFL Sunday. All you have to do to get this game free is call 1-800-918-3272. Now, Washington State came to this year with a lot of hype. They were ranked for a while. They've struggled. They're 4-3. I understand Oregon is 6-1. They're a good team, but I think the reason why they don't get the type of credit they should is because the Pac-12 is one of the weaker Power 5 conferences, and they're 6-1, but they're still outside the top 10. So apparently the polls are not very impressed with this team, and
right.
You know what? In the last 9 games that these two teams have faced each other, Washington State's covered every single time. And 7 of those 9 has been with Mike Leach as the head coach. And, listen, they have a high-powered offense. I don't know, how they're going to be able to hold up on defense per se, but they have enough offense to keep the game close enough. And, 14 points is an inflated line. And, I look at Oregon, too, after an ATS win. I don't know if they get too overconfident and they take their foot off the gas, but the last 16 games they've played after an ATS win, they're 4-12 against the spread. So they only cover 33% of the time in the last 16 games in this particular situation. So, Mike Leach is an excellent head coach. Washington State's obviously had a disappointing year, but, this is a big game for them because they're trying to take down one of the top teams in the conference. Absolutely. And if they lose, they go 4-4. So I'm going to take Washington State plus the 14. I do think it's going to be closer than the line indicates. And, I think you're going to be in for an entertaining game tonight between Washington State and Oregon.
We shall see how that one goes. But the key to your success, call the number, guys. 800-918-3272. Michigan, Notre Dame. Like I said, the information on this game could not be stronger. You've been tracking our success. The information has been documented. We're winning, guys, week in and week out. Our players are collecting, and we want to share the wealth with you. Call the number, 800-918-3272. Michigan, Notre Dame, absolutely free. Couple things we're going to do before we close out the show. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. We wanted to look into the playoff picture right now. Like I said, Mike, it's about 6, maybe 7 teams that, are undefeated, that truly have a legitimate shot at making this playoff. I mean, the usuals are there: Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Clemson. And outside of that top 4, Oklahoma, Penn State, which in my opinion, I truly believe Oklahoma is deserving of that number 4 spot. I know Clemson hasn't lost a game in forever, but they're not as good as their record indicates to me. Oklahoma should be in that 4 spot, and I truly believe Oklahoma will end up in that 4 spot. I see Alabama playing Oklahoma for the first round of the playoffs, 1 being Alabama, 4 Oklahoma, and then it's going to round out with LSU Clemson to close it out.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be intriguing, too, because if that works out that way and my predictions hold true, Alabama's going to play Oklahoma in that first playoff game. Hurst obviously transferred to Oklahoma. That would be super entertaining to see him play against his old team.
He's another Heisman Trophy frontrunner as
well.
So,
a lot of things. Penn State is hanging on. They're right there. I mean, anything can happen. Ohio State has a very tough game coming up this weekend against Wisconsin. Wisconsin dropped the ball against Illinois last week, but they were obviously looking ahead. They took Illinois too lightly, and before they knew it, it was too late, and they lost that game. they have to run the table from this point forward to do what they wanted to do on the season. So we'll see what happens after this weekend. I'm sure we'll revisit this as well. Mike's going to give his opinions on the playoff picture. He'll close us out as well. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll look forward to seeing you again. Good luck to everybody. What do you think about the playoff picture,
Yeah,
Mike?
and you know what? Again, even tonight with Notre Dame and Michigan, Notre Dame's 8 in the country. They have that one loss. I'm looking at a lot of common opponents in the top 6 right now, those undefeated teams. So there are still some teams out there with one loss that do have an outside chance. Things are going to have to fall into place. But guys, Notre Dame, Michigan, the insider move tonight, 10-point mistake in the line, cash your ticket. It's absolutely free when you call 1-800-918-3272. Now, Bama's number 1. They play Arkansas, LSU next week, Mississippi State, Western Carolina, and Auburn. LSU plays Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, and then they finish up with Texas A&M. So, I look at those two teams. It's all about the
LSU game.
It is. It's all about that. That game right there. Now, who knows? If that game's close, maybe they look at the SEC as being the number 1 Power 5 conference. You could see a one
Alabama
loss.
loses to LSU. You think they drop completely out?
I don't know if they do because they have gotten into the playoff in the past with one loss before. Ohio State plays Wisconsin, Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State, and Michigan. So Penn State's number 6 at 7-0. They've got Michigan State, a tough Minnesota team who's in the top 25, Indiana, who's got a very high-powered offense, and then Ohio State before they finish up with Rutgers. And, I kind of agree with you with Clemson and Oklahoma. Clemson is dropping down in the polls to number 4. Without losing, because they haven't been impressive. But can you really imagine a scenario where they go undefeated as the national champion and not get in? I think they still do. They play Boston College, Wofford, NC State, Wake Forest, and South Carolina. They're obviously all winnable games. But Oklahoma, Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, who has been a very surprising team this year, TCU, and Oklahoma State. So we're going to see a shakeup is what I'm saying. None of these teams are going to go, finish undefeated.
It's going to come down to the
maybe
LSU,
one or
Alabama
two.
game.
100%. That's going to be the biggest game of the year. And then again, if Penn State and Ohio State keep winning, the last week of the year, or the second to last week of the season, that could be the biggest game in the Big Ten all year. So, guys, listen, stay with us here because this is going to change. We're going to see upsets. We're going to see teams rise to the top, rise to the occasion, and we're here to give you all that updated information. So stay tuned because before you know it, the college bowl season will be here. We're only 5 weeks away from the end of the regular season already. So if you haven't been making money, give us a call tonight. Our insider move, guys, it's Notre Dame, Michigan. It's a monster game, and we've got this information absolutely free. It's a 10-point mistake. When Mike and I agree, cash your ticket. Give us a call at 1-800-918-3272. Get in the know, bet like a pro. We'll see you tomorrow for the NFL. Have a great night.